Good evening everyone and welcome to Sugar and Crumbs. My name's Tracey Mann from Tracey Mann Cakes. I'm sorry a few minutes late. I've set everything up and then I've realised that my battery on my iPad is about to go, so I'm just waiting for my daughter to return with my charger. So we'll be fully up and running in a minute, but you know what I'm like. We will be getting going shortly. So thank you very much for joining me this evening. It's Tuesday, it's 6:30 and it's my usual slot on here. If you haven't seen me before, my name's Tracey and I am normally here doing all sorts of things, and tonight I'm going to do a floral cascade design which I'm going to get going as soon as Charlotte returns with the lead from my iPad. Otherwise it's going to cut out very shortly. This will be a very short demonstration. I'm very glad Nick is on tonight because I don't have Kelly with me this evening. So good evening Nikki, I'm delighted to see you. That is a big relief to me. Yeah, I do apologise for being a few minutes late and we will get going in just a second. I'm just waiting for the technical side of the world, which I always struggle with, which is actually plugging my iPad in, remembering to charge it before my demonstration. Is that my daughter? No, not yet. Just waiting for Charlotte to come racing down with my lead. So we will get going in a minute. So I hope you're all having a lovely time, lovely day. And we're going to be doing our demo in a minute. Oh, that might be Charlotte actually. Hold on. Yes, it is. Fabulous. iPad lead. Okay, thank you. Sorry. Lovely. Thank you. Bought 3 leads because you never know which one it's going to be. Always the same. Technically very challenging me. Right, let's plug that one in. See, I need a Simon really. That's what I really need. Right, let's plug this one in. Okay, and then we should be up and running. Yay, there we go. Now we won't cut out halfway through. That was my fear. I was going to start doing the demonstration and then it was all going to go wrong. So I can cope with the cake side going wrong, but not the technical side of it. Anyway, I'm on my own this evening. Kelly isn't here. Let's take this down before I forget. But I've already done a bit of a mock-up on this one, so I know this one should be absolutely fine. So I'm not too worried about anything like that. Yes, Nikki, don't get yourself banned on Facebook, please. Spamming. Yeah, so we're going to cover a cake, so I'm going to show you how to do that. It's a very tall cake tonight. It's a 5 inch by 5 inches in height. I've already ganached the cake, so it's kind of all ready to go. There's a nice little tower there. And then we're going to do a little bit of painting, we're going to do a little bit of piping, and we're going to cut some flowers out as well and have something glorious at the end that won't be pink. I'll just point that out. I'm being very conscious not doing everything pink, so I am going to be doing peach and coral colours tonight, so that's the aim. As I say, I've already mocked it up once, so I know it's fine, so we're going to be okay with this. So we should be in for an evening of me hopefully doing this okay. I'm going to do my very best to keep up with the comments because Kelly isn't here, so I'm going to have to look down and look up. So if I do miss a comment or you want to ask me something after the demonstration, then please message me via my website and I'll be more than happy to help you. Don't forget to like and share. I've just seen that come up because you know me, I always forget that. But yeah, don't forget to like and share as well. Thank you, Tracy, for reminding me. So let's get going. Let's see how we get on. I've got these lights shining in my face as well, reflecting off my glasses. I can't see what I'm doing here tonight. Anyway, that's just normal, isn't it, really? Right, so let's have a look at the cake we're doing this evening. Let's bring this forward and move things around a little bit. There we go. Right, off we go. So we're going to be this is the cake we've got tonight. So this is a 5 inch across here by 5 inches in height. So it's quite tall. It's a double cake. So a normal cake's about 2.5 inches. So it's 2 lots on top of each other there. Now I've done this deliberately tall because you're going to see when I do let me just put that lock on there. You're going to see when I do this design, it needs to be tall. Otherwise it doesn't work, but it's a beautiful design. I'm sure loads of you will have a go at it once I've shown you what to do because it's nice and easy, but very effective, and that's me to a T. That is, I just love to do things as simple as possible but as effective as possible. So I've got some water and I'm just going to paint my cake with a bit of water. I know some people use Trex, but I'm using water because I've always used water, not Trex. Everyone does things differently, don't they? So I'm going to use a little bit of water. Now, if anybody sees my brightly coloured hands this evening, it's because I've been fighting or having a fight with my edible printer today, which has decided that it's not going to cooperate anymore. So I've had to order a new one. So if anybody's waiting for any printed things from me, from my website, there's going to be a little delay. because my sharp words with it didn't work. And I ended up wearing most of it by the end of the day. So yes, my edible printer has decided to not cooperate today, but there we go. What can I do? Such is life with an edible printer. I don't know. Anyway, we don't need it tonight, so that's okay. So we're going to do a combination tonight. We're going to cover a cake. We're going to do a little bit of painting. We're going to cut some flowers out and do a bit of piping as well. So there's lots going on with this tonight. A bit of a mixed media one, so we've got lots of different skills going on there. Let's go around here because I lost track then. There's me saying water is the easiest way to do it, and now I can't remember where I got to. I can see it now, it's shining in the lights, so there we go. All right, so I'm not going to try and do the cake and board in one go. I'm going to do the cake and board separately tonight because it's very tall. I don't want to put myself under loads of pressure. That's what I'm going to do. So there we go, like so. All right, now we are going to start covering. So let's go over and have a look at the sugar paste that I've got. Let's go into this camera here. So sugar paste wise, I decided not to do white. I decided to do this colour. Now I mixed this myself, and it's a sort of champagne-y type colour, and I made it with Sugar Flare, caramel and ivory colour. So I'll just get rid of that bit of water there. So it's champagne colour, but it's caramel and ivory. Now it might look quite white on camera. Let me see if I've got something that's white. Hold on, here we go. This is white, so you'll see the difference then. So this is white from last week, so you can see the difference between the two is quite different. So I'm going for kind of a sort of an antique-y type look tonight. So I'm going for something more kind of warm. No silver balls, everybody. The silver balls won't look right tonight. It's a more sort of antique-y colour. Just remember, when you use something like these paste colours, it can get a little bit darker overnight. This is actually a little bit darker than I anticipated, but actually it's okay. I'm not too worried about it. And I'm using Couture tonight, so I'm going to just take a little bit off because I need that bit for the board. As I say, it's good to see the difference, isn't it? You can see what I did. So let's give this a bit of a knead to get it going. That's where we might end up. We might end up with the shaking the cameras to bits, but we'll keep going for the minute. So let's give this a knead to get it going. So this is Couture, pre-dyed with Sugar Flare Caramel or Ivory, something like that, I think it was called. There we go, like so. Right, this is where I've tried to be as organised as I can because I don't have Kelly tonight, so if I suddenly go running off to the other side of the room, it's things like I've run out of icing sugar. It's the sort of thing just like this that makes me go, oh dear. So I didn't foresee that, so now let's get some icing sugar going. Okay, I'm just going to try and get the lid off this, which is probably stuck. No, it's fine. Okay, let's put some icing sugar in here. Right, luckily I've got lots of icing sugar down here because when I was teaching royal icing, or have been teaching royal icing, everyone will know that we've been using icing sugar a lot. So luckily I have plenty, so that's all right. Don't need a lot anyway, to be honest, but there we go, just a little bit. Right, let's move that out of the way. Actually, I'm going to put that over there because the chances are I'll probably knock it off. Okay, right. Let's get rolling. So we're going to go into a circle. Hopefully I needed it okay. I didn't check actually, but if we start seeing any streaks, I might have to do a re-roll. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm not going to worry about it too much. I'm just going to go for it. So let's push that out like so. There we go. So if you're doing a circle, just keep it moving. Keep quarter turning it, and you'll soon get a circle. And then just keep, when you do rolling, just make sure you don't do this, which is pastry rolling. Can you see the lines that appear when you do that? If you do sugar paste, you need to do lots of large flat rolls in order to make this right. Breathe, I sound stressed. Oh dear. Listen, I sound a lot more stressed about an hour ago when I was fighting with my edible printer. Oh dear. Me plus edible printer, not fun. No. When they work, they're like the best thing ever. And when they don't work, air turns blue. I have things to say about them. Yes, what a wonderful piece of equipment they are when they go wrong. Never mind, it'll be fine. Got a new one coming. This one was not forgiven this afternoon. Oh, never mind. There we go. The main panic being is I've got a cake going out tomorrow and I just needed a few images printed. Of course I did. Something nice and straightforward. Right, there we go. Lovely colour. You can also see it actually really nicely against the rolling pin, just how sort of caramelly colour of this is, because the rolling pin is white. So you can clearly see we've gone a bit different this evening. There we go. Yeah, we'll say it's marbled. Right, lovely smedges. We'll take our smedger. If you've not seen these before, these are brilliant. So let's get our smedger on here. So we're going to do all our hard work before we put it on the cake. So we're going to go round and round and round, flatten it all out, get rid of all the air bubbles, and then we don't have to do that bit on the cake, you see. So we can get a nice decent covering before we put it on the cake. And the only thing we've got to worry about on the cake is the air bubbles then, so we keep it nice and easy. Okay, right, let's change camera. She says pressing the button, it didn't work. Right, rolling pin, like so, and then we'll head towards the cake. And then it's a very tall cake, so we'll go straight over like that. Right, I'm going to sit down for this so I can get in there to do it. Right, what printer did I buy? Huh, my goodness me, there are hardly any printers available. This is the problem. What I discovered yesterday and the day before is that the edible printers are now in short supply at the moment. You just think, why not now? Just going to take my ring off because I don't want that catching it. Right, so I'm going to go down over the top of this because it's a very tall cake. If I just clip it round the top first and stop it tearing, then that means I won't have too many problems there. So I just need to be a bit careful. And then as you go down, just start to pull it out, just unpleat it and take it down bit by bit. I might be a little bit off camera for this. You'll see it as it comes round. So I'm not left-handed. That's I need to be left-handed to show you. Right. I have to come around the other side of the, see if I can do it this side. There we go. So as you go round, just keep pulling it out as you go down the cake. It does feel like it's the world's biggest cake when you're doing something like this. It just takes a little bit of time, but don't worry, just keep going. Just keep pulling it out. You'll get there eventually. Just keep unpleating it. Stop it gathering. Okay, so we're just pushing the air down. What I don't want it to do is hopefully not tear, which would be the ideal scenario. Right, I'm going to just sit down for a second. So I've been all the way round. Now I'm just going to pull it out at the bottom and get it going up against the cake. Once you've kind of got that distance, then you'll find it's nice and easy to get to the bottom. Nearly there. Right, so when we get to the bottom, if I use both hands, then I can start pulling it in. As you can see it coming in now. Still go back out and pull it back in again. There we go. Always feels very long way down. When you get there, it's such a relief. Thank goodness for that. Right, there we go. Okay, we've made it to the bottom. Lovely. Right, okay. Let me find a knife. And then what we'll do, oh, actually we don't need that. Let's use my lovely plastic side scraper. And then we'll pop that in there. And we'll just go round the base. Very carefully. And just chop that bit off. Are we there? Yes, we are. Okay, we'll just take that bit out of the way. I'm going to use that for the board and a bit left over. And then what we'll do, now I've got two of these. and you can hold the smedger with one smedger and then use the other one to do all the work. Now, I mean, you can do it with your hand, but you know what's going to happen when you start doing that? Every time you go around the corner, you're just imprinting your fingerprints. If you've got a second one of these, you can stop it moving around. And this base bit here means that it stays upright, so you're not tipping it or doing anything like that. So it keeps the cake really straight. So I swear by these, they're brilliant. They're brilliant things. So around we go. Just hold it in place. Yeah, I was using Couture. I've just had a delivery of Satinara actually, because by choice I actually really like that one now, and I'm ordering it to cover cakes that I'm making for customers. So yeah, I've been a bit more sold on that one. But as I said before, on lots of these knives, I've used Massa and I've used Renshaw. I've used them all, to be honest. I don't normally mind, but you know, sometimes it's down to price. I think sometimes some of the cheaper ones aren't so good, but this one seems to be pretty good. There we go. Just go round and round. So just work this round a little bit. I mean, there's quite a lot going on the sides tonight. So the most important thing tonight is the side view. I want it to look really super smart, I guess. Let's take that up to the edge. I'm not going to lie awake at night doing sharp edges because I don't need to, but we will get it. Now, if I want to get sharp edges, then I would start doing this and using my smedger up the top against the other one. Just push it out and just do that. That will do that for you. You'll see what I mean when it comes round. We'll sharpen it up a little bit. If you want super sharp edges, you've got to start doing all sorts of different things. Yeah, the sugar paste is quite a good one as well. I've used that one, that's okay. So they're all okay, really. I don't really have any that I think there's one I don't like. But other than that, I think they're all okay, actually. So you can see what I'm doing. If I hold it like that, you'll be able to hopefully be able to see a little bit better. There we go. That's better. So I'm just coming round here, it's just straightening those top edges up a little bit. So when I push it back like that, oh, we're going to go round like so. There we go. Now, have we got an air bubble there? Yes, I can feel it. There it is, huge one. Right, scriber, let's get that out. And we're going to pop that in there like that. And get rid of that air because we don't want that in there, otherwise that will come back and haunt me tomorrow, because you'll suddenly find that'll all be standing up. There we go. Right, last little go round here, and then we'll do the board next. We'll get that done, and then we'll start marking out our pattern for our cake tonight. There we go. That is fine, happy with that. That looks all right to me. So there you go, it's not too difficult to do. It just seems a bit tall when you do it. If you've got decent sugar paste, it's fine. It's only if you start using sort of more rubbishy type sugar paste that it just becomes really difficult. And don't make it too thick either, because if it gets really heavy, then you will find it will rip. So there's a bit of a fine line between it being too heavy and too thick. Right, we are covering a board. We're going to do that now with a little bit of sugar paste. So I'm going to put some water on it first, so it's got something to stick to. So paint a little bit of water on there. Got a smaller board than what I've got that on at the moment. That's just to kind of help me cover it. This one I want it on a little board. So I think the cake is a 5-inch. I think this is, I think it's an 8 looking at it. That's quite sad, isn't it? I can look at a board, know what size it is. It's not good. Oh dear. Right, let's get kneading again so we can get this one sorted. I'm going to stay on this camera because you can actually see okay looking at it. Right, there we go. Okay. I'm going to put my ring back on, oh shall I? Yes, because I'll lose it otherwise. I shall forget what I've done with it, so I have to put it back on. Right, so same colour. So I'm not going off colour here. I'm sticking to this kind of caramelly type colour. You don't want it too thick for the boards because otherwise it's just a total waste. So don't make your boards too thick. Obviously you've got to be a tiny bit more accurate if you're doing a colour, because you don't want to have all of this left over. I mean, luckily for me, I will adapt it and use it for something else. I mean, if you do get colours like this left over and you've got cake projects coming up that aren't this colour, keep hold of it, because you never know, you might suddenly get something like red and then you can just dye this, can't you? So never get rid of it, just hold on tight to it. You never know. You can always change the colour. Something else. An air bubble there. Let's get rid of that. Okay, that should be fine. We don't need that much. There we go. Right, where have we got to? Yes, tiny little thing. Let's take that off. We don't need that. That's a nuisance. Okay, right. Let's pick that up. And I will do it over here. So I'll pop that on there. Right, place it back down again. Oh, look, we're off there. There we go. Right, what have I got on there? So we'll just flatten that down on the board, except I'm not sure what's on here. It feels like there's something scratching the surface. I think we're okay. Right, so we'll go around like that. So yeah, sometimes with these smedges particularly, you've seen me go over the top of the cake, and then you've seen me use it to create the board. And I've done that on other videos. So if you've missed that and you want to see how that's done, nip over to my YouTube channel. If you go on Tracey Mann Cakes, you'll see I've covered loads of cakes on there, and 9 times out of 10 I normally do it and then use this to do the board. But tonight, because that one's very tall, I didn't want to put myself at risk with that, so that's why I've done it separately. So we're going to pick this up like a pie, and then you can just cut out like that. Yeah, if you ever get any spare sugar paste, you can make flowers. Yeah, good one. Anything really. Never chuck it away. There's always a use for it somewhere. I did a golden wedding anniversary cake, which I know I put on Sugar and Crumbs Cake Community, so I know lots of you have seen it. A big cupcake bouquet this week, and I had lots of this autumny leaf colour left, and I thought, what am I going to do with this? Buttercream, what am I going to do with this left over? And in fact, I ended up dyeing it brown and making hedgehogs at the weekend, so that's fine. So it's never wasted, just you just have to reinvent it for something else. Right, there we go. So that's done. Let's move that over there, and we'll put that away in a bag. If you get any sugar paste left over, just wrap it and put it in a bag so it doesn't end up drying out or doing anything funny. Right, now what are we doing? We are going to put this onto the board. I've got enough royal icing. So in my bag here, I have got some royal icing. So you can make royal icing with whipping it up. You just need to add water to it because it's already got the egg white in it. Is this nozzle blocked? Probably. Nothing would surprise me. I'm just going to undo the end actually. I'll tell you why, because I only need a little bit. I'm going to pop that just there. Just need a blob to hold the cake on. That's all I need. And then I'll put that back on again. You saw my my bouquet. Yeah, it was so big. I thought I've got to have a picture taken myself with this, because sometimes, you know, you don't get a funny kind of view of things. I always remember years and years ago, and I used to follow another cake decorator, and I always thought, wow, her cakes are huge. And then when I saw them in real life, they were tiny. I couldn't believe it. I was so shocked. I thought, this is ridiculous. And so from then on in, I've always thought, if I see or make something that's sort of an unusual size, I try and to take a photograph of it next to something. Right, let's pop that on there. There we go. Right, let's make sure it's down. It's got water on it, that's helpful. Right, there we go, it's in the middle, just about. You can always push it over a tiny bit if you need to. This is what I mean about the lovely smedger. You see? A million uses. Okay, right, so that's done. Good-o. That's that bit done, now out the way. Okay, let's create our pattern. So we're going to do some painting, and we're going to do some blossoms and cutouts and various things later on, but we're going to start with painting. So I have got this cutter here, and it is called Entwined Rose. It's a patchwork cutter. I've used it on here once on a coffee cup. So everyone who's been watching me for the last couple of weeks knows that I've been making coffee cup cookies. I've been obsessed with them, quite honestly. And this one, I've used this to do this particular cake, and it's really pretty. So I think you'll enjoy this. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to turn it this way. And all I'm going to do is press it against the cake. And I'm going to do it at different heights. So I'm going to have to just turn it towards me for a second to make sure it's straight. Now I'm going to just take my smedger just to help me to stop the cake moving. I'm just going to press it down. I'm just going to give it a little wiggle like that and take it off. And I didn't do that very well, so let's do it again. Hold on. So I'm at a funny angle. I'm going to have to move this so I can see it for a second. Right. Okay. Have I got this back in again? Yes, I have. Right. Okay. So let's press that down. This bit's gone wrong. It can go at the back, can't it? That's what I say anyway. Right. That's better. Lovely. Okay, so we've got that there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this round here and I'm going to raise it so it's a little bit higher this time. I'm going to put that up there. So I'm going to hold it, I'm going to press it down and I'm going to just wiggle it. So it's not going to catch all of it, it's only going to catch some of it. Let me take that off. There we go, much better. Now I'm going to move to there. Oops, and this time I'm going to drop it down a little bit further again. So we'll drop it down to about there. Take this smidger and just rock it backwards and forwards to make sure you get it all. You can always put it back on again, just like I did on the first one if you don't quite get it. There you go. So can you see what's happening? We're getting up and down here on this. I'll bring it forward a tiny bit so you can see a bit better. So we're getting a garland effect that's going up and down the cake. So if I want to make it sort of a bit longer, then I will just take this, put it further down the cake to about there, and then press it in, just twist it backwards and forwards. Like so. There we go. Let's make sure we've got it all. So I've been in flower mode for a little while now, for those of you that have been watching me, and that's because I've just got a floral painting course out at the moment for beginners. So there's been quite a lot of flower painting going on, but I'm doing this as a beginner's kind of basics so that anyone can get involved. So if you want to have a go at painting beginners flowers, this is a really good way of getting started. You've got to do this on fresh sugar paste, you see, so that it gives you a chance to actually sort of press it in. If you do it on dry sugar paste, it doesn't work. So you've got to make sure. Now what's happening here is I'm now at the back, so I'm going to have to use my board rather than my cake, otherwise my smedge is going to knock all the pattern off. So I'm going to have to be a bit careful here now. Okay. And if I dent it or do anything that I don't like, then I'm going to have some ways of covering that as well. So it's all good. We can do what we like here. Right, we're nearly there. And then we'll put this one in. Where's that one? Let's go a bit higher. Let's go up here. So vary them up and down according to what it is you want to do. So somebody put on the cake community page yesterday a cherry blossom cake that they'd done following my course, and it was amazing. Actually, it was really amazing. So if you fancy having a go, you don't have to buy the whole course, you can just do one or two. There's wisteria and cherry blossom, all the kind of things this time of year that you see around. That's what I've tried to go for, so lots of blossoms and that kind of thing. There we go. Oh, drop that. Right, we're almost there. So let's do a short one now. One more long one after that and we're done. We're back to the beginning again. So let's put that in like so. There we go. And then one long one, or longish one, about sort of there. And then I'm going to have to adjust my cake because it's been moving all over the board and I need to put it back. So we'll do that next. Probably should have done this before I put it on the board, but never mind, doesn't matter. Right, back you go. You're not moving over from there, thank you very much. Right, so you can see what I've done. I've gone all the way round There we go. Now let's just see what's happened. It's just pushed a little bit of the sugar paste off, so we'll just trim that off so we don't get that. It's just squashed. That's fine. We're going to pipe round the base anyway, so that's okay. Right, we're going to paint this now, and then we're going to put on some flowers later on. So we've got that ready. Let's bring our cocoa butter in. So for those of you that have not been involved in this before, so I do lots of cocoa butter painting. So cocoa butter itself is a hard product, so we need to melt it, which means we need a heat source. And I tend to use, I'm going to just swap these two over so I can actually get to it. I use one of these, which is a chrome food warmer, which you can buy on Amazon for about £10 roughly, something like that. I also have matches, which of course I don't have next to me. I've got everything else except the matches. Let me go for those. Hold on. Luckily I actually do have them, because that's been known as well. So let's get the matches going. Right, so all we're going to do is we're going to just light this. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, and then we just pop this on top, which is a metal paint palette. And let's put those out of the way so I don't end up doing something drastic to it. I'm just going to remove, actually no, I don't need to do that because I'm going to use that icing sugar later. It's a waste of time. Now with my painting, I tend to use paintbrushes with numbers on them, so we're going to use paintbrush number 1 tonight. So that's that one there, and I've got my cocoa butter here, and I'm going to pop that on top of my metal paint palette like so, and that will start to melt, and you'll see that melt while I'm here. So hopefully you'll see that happening. Now colour wise, tonight I'm using white. This one's called Snowflake, but white is any white. White is white at the end of the day. So we're going to use white, and we're going to use peach, so this colour here, because I told you I can't do pinks. Kelly keeps telling me off. So we're going for a peachy sort of antique-y look tonight. Peach, and then this colour green, gooseberry. I found this was the best colour that went with this particular project. So gooseberry green is the colour that I've got on the go here, and we'll put that over here away from the peach. And that's it. You don't need any other colours for this. It's very easy and straightforward. We're going to use our white to do all our shading. Now I'm just going to check what's in my brush, because as many of you know, I paint all day every day, which means I've often only stopped painting about an hour before I go live, so I've normally got bits and pieces in there. Right, let's just clean up the brush and make sure it's okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is paint the little rosebuds that are on here. We're going to do that with peach, but we're going to first of all we're going to take some white, and we're going to make it a little bit paler. If I put that onto the other camera for a minute, you'll see what I'm doing, because otherwise you won't be able to see. Let's move this smedger out of the way. There we go. So I'm literally just taking this and just mixing some white into this to get a sort of lighter peach colour. This is too dark, so you need to add some white in so that you tone it down a little bit. With the tea lights, I normally buy a great big packet of them. I've got a packet of I don't know how many, a lifetime supply under my desk. So I'm sure Amazon probably have got them, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. They seem to have got everything else, don't they? So yeah, that's the kind of colour that I'm going to go for there. So let's go back to the other camera. Here we go. Right, now, let's see, make sure you can see. You'll probably see it as it comes round. I'm trying to see what the light's like. Yeah, you're probably going to get a better view as it comes round, so I'll leave it there. So all I'm going to do is just paint the rosebuds themselves. They're really quick and easy to paint. So if you've seen me do all this and think, oh my goodness me, she's going to be here forever. I'm not. I'm going to be here a while, but I won't be here forever. So I will just make my way round. You'll see it coming up pretty quick. There you go. You've already got a view. So we just paint that on. We're not doing anything technical here. All we're doing is just following what we've embossed onto the cake. So I'm not sort of making anything up. I'm literally just painting what is there. So that's nice and easy. You don't have to think about this particularly. You just need to paint round the calyxes. There's one I keep forgetting to paint round, but that's okay because I can paint over it. So, so that solves that problem. Right, here we go. So now you can, if you decide to do this cake, you can spread them out. So if you don't want to do as many as me, you can always just do you know, maybe a few. You don't have to do as many, but when you see the end result with this cake, I think you'll agree it needs the number that I've done. You'll see what I mean when I've done it, because I laid this out earlier and I thought it needed all of this, and I was thinking, oh, am I going to be able to do this all on a live? But actually I think it'll be fine. We've got some spamming issues this evening, have we? Oh dear. Okay, I'm sure someone will let Carol know, or an admin or something. All right, there we go. So even hasn't embossed 100%, you can always just put your embosser back on and press it down again. But the overall effect with this is, to be perfectly honest, you know, one leaf is one leaf out of a lot of leaves. So unless it's really lost the pattern, I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to carry on with the whole thing, and you'll see what I mean. So we've got lots going on here quite quickly. We're nearly round to the front already. I can see where I started, so you will see it doesn't take very long. It's quite a simple pattern, this one. It does slow up a little bit when we have to do the greenery, but it's still not too bad. And again, if you make any mistakes, I've got loads of ideas for how to cover it all up, so you don't need to worry about, you know, painting something a bit wrong, or, you know, if the paintbrush comes off and makes a big blob. There's lots of ways of getting around this one. So there we go, we're back at the beginning already. Just need a bit more paint, but it's made it back to the start already. So it's very quick. There you go. Doesn't take very long. I kind of like this peachy antique colour. There you go, you can see that. So that's going round already. The cutter is called Entwined Rose. Okay, that's the cutter there. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my peach colour, and I'm just going to darken it up a little bit. And what I'm going to do is just paint this little middle bit here, just so we've got a bit of variety on this flower. All I'm going to do is literally just that centre bit there. So you know, like when you look in the middle of a rose, that looks darker, doesn't it? Well, this is the same thing. So I'm just going to pick out just this tiny little triangle here, and just that bit there on that part of the flower. You can see what I'm doing. It's quite quick again. So just that little bit there, and little triangle sort of there. And it just then makes it look just a bit more interesting, rather than just being totally flat. If you paint things one colour, they'll look really flat, so we just need to be a little bit careful about that. And again, it doesn't take very long. There we go, we're almost back at the start. I can see the start there. There you go. All right, so then it just looks a little bit more interesting than what to see. Right, okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the gooseberry green. So we'll go onto the other camera for a second. There you can see that. Whoops, except I nearly pulled it down. Just going to clean my brush. So I'm going to just dip that in the cocoa butter like so. And then what I'm going to do is take hold of some of this, pick up the gooseberry green and pick some white up. And I'm going to tone this right down, or lighten it up, because it's way too strong in its current form. So we get a nice kind of this colour goes really well with peach. I just think these two together look really nice, so that's why I went for this particular green rather than going for, I go for woodland green a lot. I'm rather renowned for woodland green, but I thought this one actually goes better with this, so that's why I've gone for gooseberry. And this is a sugar flare colour, in case you're wondering what brand it is. Okay, there we go. A little bit more. And then what we'll do is we'll try it on the cake, see what it looks like, and if we like it, we'll go ahead with it. If we don't, we'll adjust it. I'll put a tiny bit more green in there. We'll see how we go. Right, now you can always change brushes if you find that this brush is a little bit too thick, but it should be okay. So let's put this on and see what we get. I'm going to just turn it around a little bit further so you can see. Again, I might need to turn it back towards me, and then you'll see it as it comes round. Okay, getting a bit of a, hopefully you can see it. Yeah. So I'm just going to follow the line that's been embossed. Now, because it's been embossed, what happens is it actually creates a bit of a barrier between your paint and the cake, because the paint is going to go down that barrier. So unless you actually go like that across the whole cake, you can't actually go that wrong, to be perfectly honest. You literally just put your brush inside the gap and just follow it like that. Can you see how easy that is? I'm hardly doing anything particularly other than just letting the paintbrush just fill the gap. And if you go over it, well, so be it. Once this whole pattern's on, it won't matter. So, and you'll see what I mean by the time I finished it, because I have plans. There's more to come. There you go. So that is a really nice colour combination, I think. Some really nice colours. Yeah, these are all the cutters I've been using over the last couple of weeks are patchwork cutters. Now, I know Marion very well, actually, because Marion I've known for 20 plus years. And I told her that I was doing this beginner's flower course and that I wanted to kind of encourage people just to, if you didn't want to join the course, just pick up a paintbrush and just have a go at painting and do something really simple and see how you get on. And Marion's cutters for this are brilliant because it's all mapped out for you and all you need to do is follow it. And that's what I've been showing over the last couple of weeks. So we've been in flower mode for the last couple of weeks. We did Lily last week. So if you missed that, you can either go back and watch it on Sugar and Crumbs, or you can go across to my YouTube channel and have a look on there. I think I did, what else did I do? Oh yeah, I did some on Thursday as well. I did some floral cupcake toppers on Thursday, and we did some more painting there using the same sort of cutters. So there's lots and lots of things that you can do if you're thinking, well, I'd like to do this, but I'm not too sure about it. Then these cutters are really good for getting you started. And actually, this is not a new cutter. It's a cutter that's actually been around a long time. And some of you have probably even got them. I certainly had a lot of patchwork cutters over the years, and I thought, what am I doing? I could just use these. I'm going to get these out again. And I used to use them for different things. So years ago, we used to sort of, you can still do it now, we used to cut out quite a lot of shapes with patchwork cutters. But you would need to use something like flour paste because they're very thin, and flour paste works really well. But I kind of went off that idea and I didn't really sort of want to do that. I wanted to do other things, so I sort of stopped using them. There we go, can you see it coming round? And I thought, no, actually, when I got them out the other day and looked at the flower ones, and I thought, oh, actually, I can see some potential here with this, with some different designs. Now, when you look on the packaging for Entwined Roses, Marion's got it going around this way. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to turn it around the other way. And so that's what I've done. So she's got them going round the cake that way. I've got them going down the cake. Now, when, going back years ago again, here I go. I sound like I've been doing this forever, which is true. Cakes used to be a lot shorter. A lot shorter. No one would even think about making a cake this deep unless it was like a royal ice wedding cake or something. So suddenly we've got this change of fashion whereby the cakes are all much taller and they suit this kind of design really well. And so by turning this cutter the other way, we've now got a completely different look on a cutter that's been around a long time, but suddenly is now a bit looking more modern and I think would look really nice. Bluebells. Oh, maybe. I'm reading that. Actually, Bluebells, the blue colour is quite tricky with Bluebells because we're quite limited in food colouring as to what colours we can do. So blues are really one of the most difficult ones to do. Because we're limited by some of the E numbers. If you, again, this is again where I sound like I've been doing this forever. Years and years ago, you could paint literally any colour under the sun. If you wanted bright red or bright whatever, you could get those colours, and then they sort of, yeah, strip them all back and change the laws so that we couldn't have colours that are quite so strong, probably for all the right reasons as well, because, you know, we don't want too much food colouring in there, but it does make it a little bit more tricky for painting, but we're getting there. So if anyone's used those neons colours, they make some really nice colours as well. Not obviously to do with something like this, but the neons are really lovely. Have a look at that. There we go. Can you see that? That's how we're doing at the moment. That doesn't look too bad, does it? So it's coming on nicely. And you see I'm over halfway already. So the point being, it's not taking me very long. And I think that's quite important because everybody's got a limited amount of time as to what they can do with their cakes. We don't want to spend hours and hours and hours on this. When I come and do a live, I'm normally on for about 2 hours. So I try and think of projects I can do within 2 hours. Sometimes I have to do a little bit in advance to help myself out if I'm running behind or I've got a lot to do. But generally I try and start from scratch if I'm doing a full cake, so that you can see that it is a project that is achievable within a couple of hours. And yes, I am going quite quickly, but you can see it can be done. So you can see the paintbrush is literally, I'm following the lines, it's just going inside the gap that's been created by the embosser. So I'm just following it through. This is paintbrush number 1. So it's not my thinnest brush. We do have brushes thinner than this. So we have a 0 and we have a 0, 0, which are much thinner. And that can do other things, like I teach animal painting. So we do lots of like whiskers and things. So for that you need a really thin brush. The brushes I tend to use the most, the paint brushes 1 and 2. What was that question there? Let's see, but as we add the colours, it's just okay, brilliant. So I'm just trying to catch up on comments. I'm so sorry if I've missed anything this evening. It's say I haven't got Kelly here tonight. I've had to enter my own zone this evening, doing a little bit of painting. So, but yeah, we're nearly there. You can see how quickly it's coming together. And painting is a really relaxing thing to do. Now, the only issue with painting is everybody thinks they need to be an artist or something more than they need to be, when actually all I've tried to show you is how simple it is and how much enjoyment you can get out of it by just literally using a few cutters and getting yourself a paintbrush and a bit of cocoa butter and enjoying the painting. I came on to Sugar and Crumbs over a year ago and started doing some chocolate work and some painting, and then hopefully, well, I know it has, lots of you have joined all sorts of courses that I've run, beginners flowers, all sorts of things, and suddenly discovered a nice little hobby that you never knew you had. And it's a really nice thing to do. I've had some lovely comments, letters, all sorts of things over the year about people and their painting and what it's led to, and I do see all the cakes that are put on the cake community page that I get tagged in that people have done. And if you are thinking of anything like classes and you're unsure about feedback or, you know, what is it like, have a look at the comments, because they're so nice. You're so lovely to me about all the lovely classes that I've done with you. And so I come on a Tuesday night and try and show you just how easy it is and how much you can get involved with doing something like this. There we go. It is addictive, but do you know what? It's not a bad addiction, is it? And it's not a particularly expensive one either, because kind of once you're set up and you've got a few classes and you've got your cocoa butter and your paints, you're off. You're up and running. The sort of things you'll have to buy after that, where you might decide to buy a second set of paintbrushes. You might you'll definitely need some extra white, because that's the one you go through the most. But other than that, the costs are very low. It's very, very low. So you won't be worried about anything particularly. You know, do I need this? Do I need that? You know, sometimes when you do something like sugar flowers, you know, you can be a lot of cutters and all this type of thing. My number one thing, if anybody gets involved in this and thinks I really could do with some help with this here, do the beginner's course, because it will sort you out from the word go. You will understand it, and then you'll be up and running, and then you'll enjoy it better then. And you get a nice little certificate if you finish that one. There are a few certificates, you know. I do 3 now: Royal Icing, Royal Icing, Beginner's Floral, and Beginner's Cocoa Butter Painting. So there's some certificates to be earned as well. So they're fun. They're fun to do, and you know, they're well earned. The certificates, they're not, you know, done in 5 minutes. They do take time to do, but you know what? At least you feel like you've achieved something at the end. Right, I'm coming up to the penultimate one. So there you go, it didn't take that long. Yeah, go to Amazon for chrome food warmers. they've often got them. It's sometimes that I mean, they're not listed as a cake decorating item, so it can be a bit kind of like, what am I doing? I'm buying something that's nothing cake related. I'm sure I probably should have shares in Chrome Food Warmers by now. But yeah, they're on Amazon, and they can come very quickly. Sometimes they take a bit of time. Depends where they're coming from. Sometimes, you know, you put in Amazon Prime and actually find out it's coming from China and it's going to take 3 weeks. So just keep an eye on it. In the meantime, don't let it be put off that you don't have one. Just go and get yourself a glass bowl and fill it up with boiling water, and then use that until your Chrome food warmer turns up. And you'll only ever need one. You won't need more than one Chrome food warmer because you just won't. I've got about 6, but then that's because I used to teach in here, you see. So then I would need 6, got 6 students in. So I've got a few. Kelly's been using one of mine, so we've got a few on the go at the minute. And then obviously I take some out on demos and that when I go out. So I don't mind having a few extras. No doubt at some point I'll either lose or break one. So yeah, it's not going to do me any harm. Right, coming up to the last one, which is a short one. So, and then I'll spin it round and you can see what I've done. And then we're going to start, we're just going to do a little bit of shading, a little bit more shading, and then we're going to start putting our flowers on. But I think you'll agree already, without even doing too much more, that it's really lovely. There we go. Yes, it's a good old, and I'll tell you what, it's nice and relaxing as well, painting. It's lots of people have probably never painted since they left school. Why on earth would you pick up a paintbrush, you know, if you don't need to? If you go straight into a job that doesn't involve painting, it's one of those things that you probably haven't done since school. But actually then if you do it, you'll be quite surprised. You suddenly think, oh, I like this. So there we go. Let me spin this round so you can see what it's doing already. The beginner's floral painting course shouldn't be closed for enrolment. You should be fine. There you go. Okay, so you can see that so far. Now we're just going to add a little bit of shading on the leaves because they're flat at the moment. So we're going to just increase the amount of green that I'm putting into this. I'm just going to add a little bit of extra gooseberry. And all I'm going to do, actually I need to add a bit more, make it a bit darker. I'm just going to go round and just put some on parts of this green, and then it will make it kind of pop a little bit. So I'm just going to catch the edges of things. So I'll catch the edge of the leaves. So any of my courses that are running, they're running all the time. It doesn't mean there's a start and a finish. It means that they're running all the time. So anybody can join at any time and do it at any pace they want. So you don't have to do it immediately. You can sign up and take your time, especially things like the flowers. Or the beginners, anything like that. You can just join in as and when you want to. There's no fixed time scale. That means you can go back to it this year, next year, the following year. As soon as you bought it, it's yours, and you can just do it whenever you want. That's where the flower one comes in quite handy, you see, because you know, more often than not, you might think, oh, I've got a birthday coming up. Right, I know what I'll do. I'll do that wisteria project. Right, I'm going to log in and I'm going to do that. So it's quite sort of handy from that point of view. Can you see the little bit of shading is making the difference? There you go. What someone used there? Oil burners. Yeah, those are quite good. And there's like wax burner type things. Is that what you mean? Something like that. Anything that holds that metal paint palette securely is what you want. So as long as it's secure, that's fine. You can see the colours are just coming in a little bit more then. So yeah, we've got our own school. We've got our own school website, which is Tracey Mann Cake School, which I opened, well, I mean, I've been teaching forever, but we have our own dedicated website now, and that was open not that long ago, probably about 5-6 weeks ago. And that one has got all the classes and things on it. So that's where you'll find all of that. There's a Facebook Live section as well. Now, those are classes that I've already done. So they're classes that I've done on a Facebook Live, or they're coming up for a Facebook Live. And there is one at the moment, which is with Kelly. and Kelly's doing a live, which I know loads of you have signed up for already, and she's over the moon. Bless her. She's starting to do some work on it now, so you'll see some handouts and sheets appearing shortly. So Kelly is running a class on colour theory. So if you are thinking, oh, I don't know what goes with what, then Kelly's got all the answers for you. She's brilliant at colour. I've told her she can't leave home. Yeah, she's superb. Absolutely superb at being able to tell you how to make a colour. I tell you, I wish I knew how to do it as well as she's done. It's amazing. So if you want to sign up for Colour Theory with Kelly, that class is on. I'm sure Nikki will put a link up for me. Well, she's put the Tracey Mann Cake School on there. Yeah, you're very welcome to join in. Kelly's going to do that class live. It's on Monday the 10th of May. It's on at 6:30 till 8. So you'll be back on for Sugar and Crumbs at 8 o'clock. So it will be finished by then. But you can do lots of handouts, and then you can go back and watch it as and when and ask any questions. And because I'm like, I'm so lovely as a mummy, you know, I sing my own praises for the moment here. All the money that is goes towards Kelly's travels, because she's going travelling at the end of the year if she can, or beginning of next. So she's going off to, I think she's got plans to go to China and various places. So she'll be going off on her travels. So all of the money for that course is going to Kelly. So that's what she's going to be doing. She's looking forward to it. She's quite nervous, but she'll be fine because I'm going to be here anyway. Be nice to Kelly. Yeah, she'll be fine. She'll be fine. We did one a long time ago, actually, at the beginning of lockdown, and she was fine there. So she'll manage. She'll be all right. She's yeah, she's very good. She can look at a colour and break it down. I wish I could do that. You know, she can literally look at this tablecloth and go, oh, it's got green in it and also yellow, and I think, where? You know, she's really, really good from that point of view. So yeah, if you need any help there. Right, where have we got to? I think we're nearly there. So a few more leaves. So all I'm doing, you can see, is I'm literally just putting a little bit of extra colour on there, just a bit darker, just in places, nothing particularly specific, like so. Yep, we're on the last one. And then we're going to start building flowers. And we're going to get those on next. It's part of our design. And then we're going to do some piping. So it's all going on. Put a little bit up there. So there we go. That's it all painted. Lovely. So if I spin that round now, you'll be able to see exactly what's happening here. There you go. You see how lovely it all is. So it's looking very nice at the moment. Happy with that so far. So let me move this out of the way. I'm actually going to just blow that out because I could go home and forget I've done it otherwise. So let's move that over there. Put that down. Right, now what we're going to do next is we're going to make up some sugar paste using some peach colouring. So we're going to do 2 or 3 different shades. So we're going to do a dark peach, a medium peach and white. So I've got my couture here. Now I'll just take a little bit out from there. How much do I need? Probably no more than that actually. I always mix up too much. I'm a bit of a devil for it, so try and control myself. Let's put that over there. Right, now I'm going to use Rainbow Dust Peach. There we go. Just move that over there for a second. And what we'll do is we'll take hold of some of this. Now I want some white, so I'm going to put that over there so I don't end up mixing that up by accident. And then just give this a bit of a knead. There you go, you can have a little closer look then, can't you? Give it a bit of a knead. We'll take hold of this, and then these are quite strong. Now I do want it strong, but I also want a medium shade, so I'll do a little bit to start with and see what we get. So don't put too much in. It's always better to add, she says. It'll probably end up being really bright. Do excuse my hands and the colourings, that they are stained black from a little argument I had with my edible printer earlier today. It won, not me. Not impressed. Oh dear. I don't know. I don't know. Let's have a look. Oh, we'll go a bit further for that. Don't forget some of these colours get a bit darker overnight as well. So that's not too bad. Let's make one a bit darker. So we'll get this bit here and we'll give that a knead as well. There we go. So we'll make this a little bit darker this time because I want to have some contrast here, you see. That might be too much, but we'll see. I'd rather have a few darker ones and then some light ones going into white. So that's kind of the plan anyway. So let's see what we've got here. See what colour we end up. Oh no, I've got a hint of green on there as well. Believe you me, that edible printer got the better of me this afternoon. I'm laughing about it now, but believe you me, I wasn't at the time. I'm probably still not laughing about it, but there we go. Right, let me show you these two colours together in a minute and then you'll be able to see the difference. So there's this one here. So that's one colour, there's another colour there, and then there's the white. So we've got a bit of a colour combo going on there. Can you see that? That's all come out of the same tube. So we want a bit of contrast going on. We want it to be a lot stronger, a little bit paler, and then obviously down to white, which will stand out then against this kind of yellowy, creamy colour. Because I'm going to do some piping in white as well, that will then pick this up. So I want all of it there to make it make sense. Right, so that's that. Now I'm going to wash my hands because they are covered in peach. So let me just do that. Okay, let's come back. Now we'll go to this camera for a second. Just move everything out of the way so we don't end up with any mess. Right, so we're going to roll all three out at the same time. I was wondering if I've got enough white there. Let's put a bit more in. Now I've got some of these cutters. Which ones did I use in the end? These ones. So these are Blossom PME cutters. There are 4, I think, in the set of this one. What are they called? I think they're just called Blossom. And I'm going to use this one because this is the one I really like. So that's the one I'm going to use tonight. They're Plunger Cutters there, you see. So we're going to use those. If you are buying anything like that, try and buy PME. Try not to buy anything. Try not to buy anything in mass. If you ever see an offer on eBay or something that says 100 cutters for £10, just avoid it like the plague, because otherwise they will all rust and go horrid. So just avoid. Go for some decent brand stuff and you'll keep them forever. Honestly, you will just keep using them over and over again. Much better idea. You get problems with the springs rusting and all sorts of problems if you buy the cheapy ones. So go for the ones, the originals. There's a nice little top tip there for you. Now, if you're going to, this is just sugar paste. It's not modelling paste, but I'm going to roll it quite thin. Otherwise, I'm going to get horrible chunky flowers, and I don't want that either. So I'm going to roll out all 3 colours. You can see, can you see my pattern just appearing there? So that's what you want. I must be moaning about my edible printer a lot because so just picked up on my that I'll tell you, that edible printer and me, honestly. I think I've done so many lives now where I've come on and gone, look, I'm so sorry about my hands. I've been fighting with the edible printer. I mean, it just seems to go, I know you're going live later, so guess what? I'm going to play up now, and it's just like, oh no. Every week. And that ink that's in the edible printer is literally indestructible. It takes a day or so to come off. No matter how much hand washing you do, it's still there, you know. It's just slipped down. I went out with red all across here the other day, and I had to explain to someone in the bank what I'd been doing, because I thought, well, they'll probably think, what on earth has she been doing? Yeah. I said, I'm so sorry, I'm a cake decorator, and they just looked at me. It's like, oh dear. Right, there we go. There's our other colour. Right, now let's get this. I'm glad some of you are getting your mail order. I do apologise to anyone who's ordered any sheets this week from me, because we are on a little bit of a delay courtesy of my edible printer, which was, you know, we have parted company today. So I have a new one coming. It's going to be a little bit delayed, but that's okay. We're going to get there. and we will be fine. So yeah, when you're rolling this out, get to the point where you can see through it. Can you, if I move that over there, you can just about see through. Let me go a little bit further. Just about see through this. See my lovely patterns on my tablecloth. I always used to say this to my students. If you can see the pattern underneath the paste, then you've gone far enough, because we want nice thin flowers. We don't want horrible chunky ones. That doesn't look very nice. There we go. So we've got all three colours there. Have them all ready. There we go. Like so. Now I've got my piping bag and I have got my royal icing in it. Now, probably because I've been chattering. Oh no, it's okay. That's fine. Sometimes it sticks, you know, it gets blocked, but actually it's okay. So I've got PME nozzle number 2 in here, which is a good one for doing this. So I'm using royal icing. It's much better than using edible glue. So try and use that if you can. Let's switch back to this camera here. Right, okay. Let's bring this over so hopefully you can see it. All right. There we go. I want to make sure you can see the top. Okay, so we're going to start with the big one, and what we're going to do is we're going to start having the darker ones at the top, and then we're going to work down so the whiter ones are lower down. Then we're going to do some piping later on. So we're going to use this to glue things down at the moment. So what I'm going to do is just literally pipe a little dot, take my blossom cutter, and I'm just going to put it on like so. So I'm going to use the bigger one at the top. I'm going to put them in sort of clusters between what we've done already, like so. So we'll do that first. Let's go round and just do all our big ones first at the top. So now they're going to look quite strong versus what we've done already, but that's fine. And I don't want them to be equal either. So you can see I'm sort of moving them around a little bit. So, and if they're a little bit further out, a bit more up the top, that's okay. A little bit more down the side, that's also fine. What we don't want is them being sort of chunky. Okay, so with anything to do with plunger cutters, you just put your icing on, you press it down, press the plunger on, and it'll stick down. So we'll do all this bit first, because it's easier to set things up, I find, by doing everything like this first. There we go. Now this is where, if you've done anything wrong, like you've got a fingernail or you've ripped it or something like that, this is where you can start planning where to put your things. Always very handy. Never worry about any marks you've made on a cake, because you can always cover them up with something. Even if it's a butterfly or something, you can always get around it. So don't worry. I don't worry about it. So definitely you don't worry about it. I do cakes all the time. Every day I'm making cakes. I'm either demonstrating, or I'm writing courses, or I'm covering cakes for customers. So, and I never worry about it. I just put something on it if I need to. I make the design work for me rather than the other way around. Okay. So if you're looking at this and thinking, whoa, that's a strong colour, once I put all the other colours on together, you'll see what's going to happen. It just looks really pretty. And my cake topper is actually a sort of a peachy colour as well, so it will pick that up as well towards the end. This is getting in my way. Let me move this around. There we go. We'll put that on there. Yes, we're going through a bit of a flower mode at the moment, mainly because of the painting course, but also, you know, we're not really in some sort of themed moment. You know, a lot of the time I've done Christmas or Easter, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, all of those things. We are heading towards Father's Day, but at the moment, because it's spring, I've gone down the flower route, and that's what I've wanted to do. Is to kind of bring the flowers in, bring them together, and just make them look pretty. So now we're going to move across to this paste here. I've kept this one available because I might well use that one later on, and I'm going to go down to the next size. So I'm going to drop down to the smallest one of these. So it's not actually the smallest, but it's almost the smallest. I've done with the smallest one, and then I'm just going to start bringing a few of these down this design. So I'm just going to bring it down to about there. So I might put in about 3, maybe, something like that. Just meant to mention with plungers as well, if you're watching to the right hand side of me, when I'm putting the plunger down, I'm actually moving it across the table like that. That then picks up the flour, which means I can then plunge it straight onto the cake. So if you just put your plunger down and pick it up, the plungered, if that is even a word, the flour, let's just say the flour is still on the table. That's no good to me. I don't want to then be sitting here picking it up like this and then attempting to put it on a cake. That's not happening. All you need to do is put it down, move it, pick it up. It's simple as that. It's very straightforward, okay? So don't spend too long with plunger cutters. Down, move it, pick it up, you've got it. All right, top tip for you there. Because plunger cutters are like one of the easiest things to use, but there is a little bit of a technique with them, which never gets talked about particularly. And then all of a sudden, when you realise what you can do, one of the things my students used to do was I would find them doing this, you know, literally cutting them out, press it down, picking them up, putting them on the cake. It takes forever. We don't want to be doing that. So what I'm doing at the moment is setting it up basically, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to have a look at some of the ones that are a bit longer than the others, so that we can bring these flowers down lower as well. So I'm just setting up kind of a basic, something basic at the moment, basic trail, I suppose, something like that. We'll see how we do. But yeah, this would be really nice as a birthday cake. I say I'm a bit mad on spring at the moment. I love spring. Spring's actually a really nice time of the year. I am not a summer person at all. Kind of go into hibernation in the summer. I don't leave the house because I'm too busy doing wedding cakes most of the time. But I do have air conditioning. I'm sorry everybody, but I do. So that's fine. I can cope. But yeah, I'm just not a great summer person. I like the winter and I like spring. Autumn's okay. Oh, I don't mind autumn either. But I'm a big fan. I do like spring. There we go. Just not summer. It's too hot for me. Having said that, we painted on one of the hottest days of the year last year. We did the macaron class, and my goodness me, we managed to do it. I don't know how we did it, but we did. There we go. Right, I'm using, what am I using? There's a PME blossom cutters, plunger cutters, all right. They're not new. They are, well, they're as old as the hills, but they are really good for putting little flower arrangements on. Right, now I've made it all the way round, as you can see. Okay, you can notice it's all quite random as well, so let's keep it random. And using the same cutter, because I can't remember what I did with the really small one. I didn't put it under my desk, did I? I know I put it in one of my uber secure places, which means I won't know where it is. Let me just check it's not in my pot. Sometimes I put things in here when I'm being organised. I think, oh, actually that's quite sweet. There's a little tiny one there. Maybe we'll use that one as well. Okay. Just to add a bit of variety. Maybe we'll use that one. No, okay. It's vanished, but that's all right. It doesn't matter. Not a problem. We'll carry on with this one. I think that's what I did on the original anyway. Yes, I did. Right, so we're going to switch to white. And we're going to bring this down further than we've got at the moment. So we'll just pop some little white ones in there. Definitely don't want these to be chunky, and we're going to let them come down quite a long way. Now we're actually going to go back and do other things to this later on. This is not the end by any stretch. So they're roughly going to be about the same. Now this one will take it down a little bit further. So we'll come down. And then you can put some together. So we'll put 5 on that one. Look at that. There you go. It's got a nice long one there. And you can bunch them up as well. You don't have to have them sort of quite so separated. So if you want to do them sort of more bunched together, that's okay. There we go. What we don't want to do is make it so full on that you can't actually see what is happening. So let's just keep it like that. Somebody asking about cleaning. What was that? Cleaning plunger cutters. You probably could put them in the dishwasher in where the knives and forks are, you know, in your little tray there, but I just find they're just as easy just to you know, put them in the sink and let them soak a bit and they'll be all right. As long as they're the PME ones. If you buy the cheapy nasty ones, then you'll find they'll rust and then you'll have a real problem on your hands. So don't buy those. Buy the branded ones because they're much better. They'll last much longer. They do break eventually. They all break eventually, but it's just the other ones will break a lot quicker. Okay, let's see where we are. Right, we're nearly back at the beginning. And we're going to just put some other bits in there now to break this up a bit. Right. So we've kind of got the basics on now. That's what we want. And then we can go back and add to it. There we go. So a few more up there. Okay, right, so that's those on for the minute. Now I'm just going to go back to the top because what I want to do here is I want to join this across here. So I'm going to go back to my paler colour and I'm going to just go towards this. I want this bit up here to connect. So I'm just going to add, I probably might have gone off camera a little bit. Let's bring this round so I'm not too far off. Am I on still? Yeah, there you go. You can see what's happening now. Sometimes I get so carried away I actually forget to look at the camera and realise what I'm doing. And then I look up and you've been watching nothing for 15 minutes. Well, I've been very busy. Right, okay. So I'm putting some more on that are heading towards the other displays to kind of join it all up. But what I want to do is join it up with white rather than joining it up with peach. So the white colour will go on in a second. You don't have to do it like this, you know, you might just want to do the painting and go, yep, that's it. But I think once you see what I've done to this, eventually you will go, ah, I get it now, I see what she's doing. Because sometimes when you're doing cakes and you're trying to explain to people, you know, hold on, this is going to happen, this is going to get really good. You have to wait. And then you'll see, oh, connect, yes. So squeeze, connect. My beloved Royal Icing students will know me saying that a million times. So there we go, we're creating a bit more of a join now. What you try not to do is make this look too staged, so you can kind of go in a little bit on the cake as well. What I don't want is just a straight line of all these flowers. You just kind of want them going in and out a little bit. So I'm going to put some of them onto the cake so that it doesn't look like a sort of fake line of flowers. I don't want that. Of course, you might not decide you don't want to do any of this painting and you just want to do this whole kind of garland effect, you know, and that's okay too. You would just need to do lots of these, but I kind of like the combo of it both, really. I think that's what I liked, really. Can you make a small amount of whipping it up? Yes, you can if you want to. So you just, a whole bag of whipping it up, it's 70 grams of water. Half a bag is 35, so a quarter of a bag would be 17. So you just do your maths according to that. So a quarter of a bag is what, 125, something like that, whipping it up. 17 grams, or if you want less than that, you halve it again. So just do some bit maths on that. But yeah, you can do that. Once you've made royal icing up though, as long as you keep it in a plastic container, you should be able to keep it for a good sort of 2 or 3 weeks. So you shouldn't need to do it like that. And whipping it up, it's very easy. You literally just get the bag. It's got the egg in it already, add your water, get hold of your electric beaters and beat it for sort of 15 minutes, 5 minutes, not 15 minutes, be there forever, about 3 to 4 minutes, and then that's it, your royal icing will be done. And that's it. Now I've got this cutter here for a bit of variety. This is a daisy one. And it's the smallest one. I'm really keen on this one. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to roll this out a little bit thinner just to make sure I get it really, really thin. I don't like these chunky, they look horrid. And I'm just going to put a couple of these on in places. So we're going to, just so we've got a slightly different flower going on. So we'll put one in there to start with. Again, just same as the others, pick it up. Now with this one, it doesn't have that pointy plunger in the middle, can you see? So what you have to do with this one is where your paintbrushes come in handy. You just push it back like that. So you have to go back and push that one into place. I'll show you that on this one here. So if I put my blob of icing on, I pick up my flower. I'm going to push it onto the icing there, and then I just take my paintbrush and push it out like that. So it's very easy, but it just works slightly differently to the other plungers. So you need a paintbrush in your hand as you go along with this one to make it stand. Otherwise it's flat, and we don't want it flat. Okay. And if they overlap as well, that's okay. Overlapping is fine. Just think about flowers themselves. They don't stand, whoops, they don't stand alone. They tend to overlap, so anything that's overlapping is allowed. Is whipping it up on offer? It could well be. There you go. Whipping it up and royal icing. I've done loads of videos on this, absolutely loads, especially back in January before I started my royal icing course. So if you want to find out how to do all of that, again, just go to my YouTube channel. There's loads of videos on there of cakes I've done with whipping it up. It's really easy to do. It's a nice quick way of making royal icing because the egg's in there for you, you see. So you just add water and off you go. So it's very easy. Okay, nearly there. So all I'm doing with this is just adding in, I'm just tucking in an extra flower, just an extra shape, I guess, just to make it more interesting. And then we're going to start doing the piping in a second, which will then change it all again. You'd be surprised actually what the piping does. So just pop that in like so. It's a full-on garland tonight, isn't it? You can imagine this on a wedding cake done in sort of whites and creams. That would look really nice as well. And the green always seems to frame it, doesn't it? You know, I've got a wedding cake coming up with somebody who says all white and cream, but it's the green that actually helps really make it stand out. Never underestimate green when it comes to painting or anything like that. It's really important. And I've got like quite a few shades of green that I always go on about. Woodland green, but spring green, moss green, gooseberry green, they're all really lovely different shades of green and very important when you're coming to put your cake together. I haven't got a flower for the top tonight. I've got a topper because I honestly couldn't think after my edible printer decided to throw wobbly. You're probably right, a nice flower would look good, but I haven't got one. I have got instead a topper, but it is peachy coloured, so that's okay. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to pipe into the centre of all these flowers like so. You can see what I'm doing, hopefully. Can you? Sort of. Let me go around here a bit so you can see it a bit better. Right, there's the ones on the top. You probably won't be able to see those. Let's just do those. Normally I get to the end of this and I think I've done them all, and then there'll be a rogue one in there somewhere that I've missed, so I apologise in advance, but I will try and do them in order so that we don't miss one, but I probably will. So we'll do the flowers first, and then we're going to pipe over them so that you can see what that looks like. And we're kind of going for a bit of a sort of gypsophilia look about it, so that we get this kind of, I'm very keen on gypsophilia. If you don't know what that is, it's like, it's called, I think they call it baby's breath as well, and that looks really nice. And I think it, for me, I know some florists don't like it, but I do. I think it's really lovely. I just think it makes everything look more just sort of finer somehow. So we're going to try that effect on here. Well, we're going to definitely try it because I've tried it earlier and it looked good, so that's what we're doing. I'm going to pipe that on so you'll see how that works. And again, as I've said before, this is quite straightforward. It's piping dots with royal icing with piping bag or piping nozzle number 2. So this isn't a bit of specialised equipment. None of what I've done tonight is particularly specialised. The Entwined Rose is the only piece of equipment that I've used that's on that's a bit different, and it's actually not a very expensive piece of equipment either. It's about $3.50 or something. It's hardly anything, but on this I think it is really effective, and I think as well you can paint it up lots and lots of different colours. So I think I did it on, What did I do on my last one? I think I might have done it the bluebelly type colour. And you could turn it the other way. So you could always take this cutter and have them coming up this way. You don't need to have them coming down. You could have them coming up as well. So that's another idea. So if you fancy turning it around, then you can do that. I'm just reading some of your comments. Oh, there's lots of you on there tonight. How lovely. That's good. I was watching the live yesterday, picking up Kelly, because Kelly had gone out last night. And so I was sat in the car waiting to pick her up, watching the live on my phone. And they were still going at 20 past 10. I was still in the car. Oh my goodness. So I don't think I'll still be here at 20 past 10. What time is it now? 8 o'clock. I'll probably still be here for another half an hour or so. Oh, we'll carry on. We're getting there. The aim of the game on the lives is to show you how to do a cake from start to finish. Well, for me anyway, or something from start to finish that's nice and simple and straightforward that you can do yourself. And in the meantime, you might get inspired, you see. You might suddenly decide, you know what, every week I'm watching her do these lives and I'm going to do that cake this week. Or I'm going to have a go at painting or ask a question or whatever it is you like. I don't mind. And then if you want to tune in again, I'm on Thursday mornings as well. I'm here at 11:30. So, although I'm not too sure what I'm doing yet this week, I haven't got my head around that yet, but I'm sure I will come up with something. So I will be back at 11:30 Thursday mornings doing something else. Got to finish an 80s cake tonight for tomorrow, so I've got to do that when I get back, but I've nearly finished it. So it was only the edible printer, my uninspiring friend edible printer, that was causing me some difficulties, but we seem to have resolved that now by going to see a friend who has an edible printer so I can finish my cake, and then everybody else we will deal with the printing when the new printer arrives. So we'll get there. We'll get there. It's one of those things, isn't it? So I'm a big fan of it. I do like it when it's working. There we go. Oh, look, we're back at the start already. You didn't even know it. You chatter away and then you're like, oh, I'm there. There you go. So we've gone all the way around the middle ones. I'm sure there might be the odd rogue one here and there that I've missed. And now we're going to go for the Baby's Breath Gypsophilia look. So we're going to do this still with this number 2 nozzle. I'm just going to move this out of the way because I seem to be leaning on it and welding it to the table. Let's just move that sugar paste over there. And my paintbrush. I'm trying to look tidy, you see. Like Karen Griffiths, when she does her lives, she's so tidy. I just don't know how she does it. It's normally chaotic when I'm doing that. Right, okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take this nozzle and I'm going to group these quite closely together in little sort of groups of 3. This will come up, you'll suddenly see it and go, aha, I'm going to pipe over everything. And then I'm also going to spread them out as I go further down. Oops. So lots of little dots really, and this is going to really break this down and make it look very fine. So now if you wanted it even finer, you could use the lovely nozzle number 1, which my Royal Icing students have lovely things to say about it. They're always going, oh, nozzle 1, what a joy that is to use, or words to that effect, probably not. So I'm keeping the nozzles, I'm piping lots and lots of these little dots at the top here. And then as I go further down, I'm starting to spread them out. So can you see at the top there, there's sort of quite a cluster. And then as I'm coming further down, I'm sort of letting it come down a bit, but I'm painting over, piping, not painting, piping over some of the flowers as well. That's fine. But I'm sort of piping in little groups, splitting them up. And then as they come down to the bottom here, just the odd one here and there as well. So you get this kind of effect. There you go. All right, can you see that coming? Isn't that worth waiting for? It's so hard. You know, when you know what's coming and you think, stay with me, I promise you it'll be lovely. Honestly, it will. I know it because I've done it. It will be fine. But you can see there, I think this effect is really spectacular. And what I like about this is that your painting and your 3D, it all kind of comes together then. So you get this really kind of soft approach there. I'm actually going to go up onto the top of the cake as well, but I'll keep going around the side for the minute. Now I'm not going to put any silver balls on this because it's very vintage in colour and it's just not going to work. Or glitter of any description, because it just doesn't look right with something like this. It needs a more softer approach with this, I think. I'm going to bling things up probably next week. I've got this sort of idea of doing sort of princessy type things next week, so I think that will be coming. So there might be a bit of a glitter thrown around next week. There we go, can you see? So you get this kind of nice effect with the stuff behind it and the 3D stuff over the top, and it just looks, I think, really different, and that's what I was looking for. I was looking for something, you know, this is a really, this whatever this patchwork cutter is called, Entwined Roses, you know, it's a really, it's not been, you know, it's been around a while, and I just saw it and thought, I think I can do something with this. And lo and behold, I have. I like modern things. I like things to be new and different. I like to take a different stance on things. I don't just think, right, okay, that's how we've got to use it. I like to look at it and go, hold on a minute, I think we can do something different with that. What's also happening with the white is the white is going over the top of the green, and that's making that stand out as well. So you can actually sort of see through into the green, which is like the sort of gypsophilia effect that you're getting on that, and it gives it a bit of perspective as well. Some of us are still hooked on cake painting and biscuits. I know there's some definitely hooked people on cake painting and biscuits, and royal icing as well. I've been teaching royal icing, and that class have done very well as well, really well. But yeah, it's all good. So, you know, if you suddenly think, might have a go at that, go and have a look at the cake school. I must put some reviews on there at some point. I'll have to get some organised, I think. Then you see, I won't need to convince you, because then everybody else will tell you. There you go. Lots of support as well. You know, if you get stuck, I'm happy to help you. Not usually on a Sunday though, because I'm normally, as most of you will see on my Instagram, I'm normally wandering around the local canal. We've got a canal nearby and I love it. I know. On my Instagram pictures, I'm usually by the canal. I just love the boats. I'm fascinated with them. That's all the colours, I think. That's what it is. Yeah, get yourself some patchwork cutters. Do you know what? And they're not even a heavy duty investment. They really aren't. I think the most expensive one is about £6 or £7. And this one I've used tonight is literally £3.50. It's a bargain. And you can do all these lovely things with it. So, you know, don't just use it the way I've used it. Use it that way up. Use it that way up. So you can, I think Marion on Patchwork Cutters, what she's done is she's joined it. So she's created a garland that's gone round her cake. That's on the picture. I don't know if I've still got the packaging around, but it's like, yeah, she's gone round it. So that looks really nice. But yeah, have a go that way round, see how you get on. Biscuits. I know we've done lots on biscuits, and I've got this coffee cup that I'm absolutely obsessed with, as everybody knows. I keep bringing it out every week. I think, oh, I know what I'll do this week, and out comes the coffee cup. Well, I've got new cutters on the go now, so I'm currently piping cupcakes. So that's going to be, I've got a new set of 3 cupcake cutters come out, and there is a mini one. It's tiny, tiny, tiny little one. So I've been doing that. I mean, literally it's about that big. It's the sweetest little thing ever. So I'm busy developing those at the moment and showing you what to do with those. I need to go to, we've got a little cake shop nearby. I call it a sprinkle shop. She's got every sprinkle under the sun. So I need to go and have a look in there and see what to put on them. So there we are. There we go. Yeah, get your patchwork cutters out. Get them out and have a look at what you've got. And if you haven't got any, then you can get some. and they're not bank breaking. If anybody, oh, I know what I was going to say, Magnolia and Rose, which is the one I did a couple of weeks ago, that one is out of stock. I've wiped out the supplier completely, so Marion is busy trying to get some more at the moment made quickly, bless her, because yeah, you all went mad and loved it, which is great, but there's a little delay, a little one. They'll come, everything turns up eventually. Oh, there we go. And where are we? Yeah, I can see the other side now. That's always a good sign, isn't it? You know where you're going then. So lots of little ones at the top here, and then just kind of spread them out as you go further down. So you kind of got this sort of niche bit here at the top. Put them in clusters. Keep them quite tight to the rest of it, and then come out a little bit. How am I holding the icing bag? All right, I'll move forward a bit then, like that, in my left hand. There we go, like that. There's no right or wrong way. I always say this to my royal icers. There's no right or wrong way to hold your piping bag. Years ago, gosh, here we go again. Years ago, I was told to hold my piping bag in a certain way, and I found it really difficult. Now, I've actually got my piping bag in my left hand, and I am actually right-handed, and normally I'd have my bag in the other hand, but because I'm on a live, and I want you to see, I've got it round the wrong way. So I wouldn't probably normally hold it. I'd normally hold it like this. But because I'm on a live, I've got it in a slightly different position. Believe you me, when you're trying to do a live and you're trying to get people to see what you're doing, it's amazing the interesting positions I end up in, just trying to make sure you can see what I'm doing. But that's it. So it's that's what I use there. So there you go. That's what's happening. So yeah, just move across, tuck them in like so. Yeah, so that's how I pipe. It's nothing particularly exciting. It's just hold your bag, squeeze, and off you go. And do you know what? If you get your consistency right, then you won't have a problem. So you need to follow that recipe I've told you for whipping it up. And if you can't remember what it is, I think there is a recipe page, and I'm sure on there Carol will have put on their royal icing. So, and you can size it up or down according to how much you need. And if you can't find that, then go to YouTube, go on to Tracey Mann Cakes or Sugar and Crumbs, and I'm sure you'll find I've made it live. I made it wrong live on one of the lives, so I mean there's always that side of it as well. You can always see it being done really bad by me, putting in all the water and then going, oh no, I think that's wrong. Yeah, I weighed it up wrong that night. You have to bear in mind I'm making these cakes from scratch in the evening, you see, so I'm normally tired by then. Oh dear. Yeah, if you've got your consistency right with royal icing, everything else will fall into place. So on my royal icing course, I show you how to make it in 3 different ways, and then you can choose the way that you like, and then you follow that. So it's about learning what it's like to do it with whipping it up, and then what it's like to do it with Merry White, which is another powdered egg product, and then what it's like to do it with albumin powder. And actually visually seeing it makes a difference, because they are very different, all 3 methods, but yeah, that's all shown on camera as well, so it's a good reference as well. I always say that if you learn all the basic stuff, everything else just falls into place. So it's just getting the basics right. If you can get that right, everything else will be easy. Okay, we're nearly there. And then we are going to change nozzles. Oh yes. We're going to get my Royal Ice's favourite nozzle out, nozzle number 1 that they all moan about. Oh no, please don't make us do anything with that nozzle. I said to them, it could have been worse. I could have made you do things with 0, 0 or 0 nozzle, which are much thinner. I was very kind and only gave you nozzle 1. But it is quite small. There we go. Right, now let's see if I've actually got nozzle 1 here, because I'm saying all of this and I forgot to check. So I'll get my little, I've got a pot here that I keep next to me, which basically means I throw things in here as and when I go, which is usually cutters and nozzles. Actually, I've put pens in here recently because I can never find a pen. I should put Pritt Stick in there as well because I can never find that when I'm live. I don't even think I've got it out tonight. No, I don't think I have. Oh no, I have. Oh, I haven't got the ribbon. Oh no, I've even got the ribbon. Good grief. That's very organised of me. So this is PME number 1. It's a tiny little thing. Very small. Where's my camera? Up. There we go. That's it. Right, let's make sure that's not blocked, because if it is blocked, it will be a nuisance from the word go. So let's put our scriber in there and check. No, that's all fine. So we can take the nozzle off. So we'll unscrew that adapter there and we'll take that off. And we'll switch over to this one, and we're just going to do a little bit more extra small piping. Yes, come along everybody. We know we love that piping nozzles in number 1. It's tiny. Look how tiny it is. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Okay, just for a bit of contrast, we're just going to go in here and we're just going to put some little tiny dots. Tiny teenies right at the bottom here. So it fades out. They'll all be cursing me now, going, not that nozzle, little tiny ones. I want this just to be the finest point at the bottom. So we can just take that down a little bit further. It will make all the difference. And just make it look a little bit finer. So it's kind of like the tail end of it, really. You'll see what I mean when I turn it round. Okay. Because then, like the flowers, then you've faded out the bit at the bottom. So just mix it up with what's there. Don't just suddenly start doing the little ones and nothing else. Just kind of mix it up a little bit. And then you'll see it fade out, and it just makes it look a little bit finer. So don't be scared of nozzle number 1. As long as your royal icing is okay, you won't have a problem with it. If you're finding whenever you do any piping that your hands are like this by the end of it, then you've got your icing consistency wrong. And you need to do it again, and then you'll be fine. It's just a matter of having confidence to do something like that. There you go. You can see it fading down like that. Looks a little bit like sort of wisteria, hanging blossom type thing, doesn't it? So you can take that down as low as you want to take it, or you can leave it up high. It's entirely up to you. You can cover something you've done wrong. It doesn't matter. There we go. Just some little, I'm not doing a lot with this nozzle, you'll be pleased to hear. If anybody else does this, they'll go, I'm not using that nozzle one. No way. Never again. Yeah, this is PME nozzle number 1. There is actually a 1.5, which is between the two. So if you can't bear to go down as small as this one, then there is a 1.5. So you can always use that if that's just becoming like pain and torture for you. Then you can do that. This tends to be a royal icing nozzle rather than buttercream. I think the smallest nozzle I tend to use in buttercream is number 2, and that's for just sort of things like stamens in the middle. I wouldn't probably use anything smaller than that because it would just be like torture. I think that this is fine as is. We're at the beginning again, aren't we? Yeah, we are. So we've gone round again already. If you wanted to go in and just put the odd one here and there, you can, but I'm not going to do that because it's going to just take too long. But I think we're heading in the right direction of what we want to be now. And we're going to go back to nozzle 2. Let's take this out. And then we'll put that back in, and then what we'll do is we'll just go back up to the top. I might go on the other camera actually for a minute, but I'm going to have to tidy up a second because Karen is so tidy and I'm so messy. I just can't do it. Right, let's put that over there. Yeah, that's okay because no one can see that. All right. And then as I pipe this over the top of this camera, you'll see it then, won't you? Let's go over there. Okay, that's better. And then what I'll do is I'm just going to take that nozzle, which of course is now blocked because I didn't pipe with it for a minute. So we'll just take this little sort of dot pattern up onto the top of the cake as well. And just put some little clusters. Am I on camera? No. Let me go forward a bit. There we go. You can see what's happening now. So we just, what I'm trying to show you is just you don't need to do this in any sort of like set order. Just bunch them up together, bring them in a little bit, trail them up onto the top of the cake, because then it's going to look like the whole thing has just kind of gone like that over the top. No, I'm not torturing you with 0, 0, don't worry. I mean, I have to say, when it comes to paintbrushes, everybody loves the 0, 0 one because that helps them, you see. But the piping nozzles, maybe not so. Maybe not. And obviously the white's standing out because we've got this lovely caramelly colour at the bottom as well. So don't forget that. We started with Caramel Ivory, which was Sugar Flare colour. There we go. So you can see I'm doing this very randomly. There's no pattern to this. And it's quick. I think the main thing is to realise that this cake, it doesn't actually take that long, and it's made up of very simple shapes. Okay, there we go. So that's kind of that bit coming down, and you can do as much as you want with this. And if you want to go in further with your you know, you might suddenly think, oh, an extra flower there or whatever, you can do that. I've got a topper, so I'm not too worried about it, to be honest. I'm going to go back down to do the sides now, so let's move it back again. So we'll go around the sides, and what we'll do is we'll do a sort of beaded pipe at the bottom, I think, because that will kind of pull it all together. So I'm just going to hold the bag at a 45-degree angle, and then I'm just going to pipe dots. There we go, you can see that coming now. Just cover that gap between the cake and the board. So round we go. And then that will make it. So we've got the colour scheme we've got is coral, peach, white and cream. So we've got 4 colours going on here. Oh, and the green as well. Coral, peach, white. What did I say? Coral, peach, well, and green. Yeah, so 5 colours for a nice sort of vintagey look. Can't remember what I called this class now. Something like Floral Cascade or something along those hours. Can you use the Russian nozzles with icing, not buttercream? I think you can, but I think it probably just push out too much royal icing. I think they're much better. They're designed for buttercream, and I would stick to using them with buttercream myself. I think they're better with buttercream. There we go. Got to tidy up that bottom bit. Can't leave it like that because it's too messy. But what we don't want is we don't want a really big, complicated bottom line. Otherwise, it's going to detract from everything that we've done on the side here, and then we'll have lost it. We don't want that. There we go. So yeah, I have been using royal icing. This is, now the other thing I meant to say as well, if you do use whipping it up does tend to dry a little bit on the creamy colour side. So if you want it to stay white, then you'll need to put in a little bit of white, like a little bit of white powder or something like that to stop that happening. A very small amount, like a gram or something, it's tiny, and that will just stop it going yellow. When I say yellow, it's not really yellow, it just dyes a sort of a creamy colour. So that's what I've done to stop this from doing that, because I want the contrast. If I want it to dry cream, then that's different, okay? So we're nearly there. Yep. I will take pictures at the end as well. I normally take pictures and put them on Instagram. And I always put them on the Sugar and Crumbs cake community page as well. So if you are looking, sometimes it's nice to see it on camera, but it's better to see a photo as well, because then you can kind of see it a little bit better. So I normally take a picture of it as is, and then take some close-ups as well, so you can have a good look at it. And then if you want to watch the video back again, so if you've joined late, you can either go back and watch it on Sugar and Crumbs, or you can go across to YouTube and I'll pop it on there as well. So I won't have uploaded it yet because I don't stream to both at the same time. I only stream to Facebook. I'm sure I could stream to both at the same time. But that would involve me and another bit of technology. And it's an uphill climb sometimes, you know. So I may think about that one for a while and then do it. So let me get over the edible printer first and then I'll do it. So one step at a time. Okay, coming up to the end of this bit. So I'm not going to do anything else with this bottom. I want it to stay really quite simple, because if I start building up lots of layers, it's just going to look weird and I don't want that. Right, let me just get this ribbon because I can see it, but I can't reach it. So let me grab this. What have I got? What's this described as? Ivory. I can do ivory, that's fine. And I've got a Pritt stick, everybody, don't faint, because I don't normally have it. Right, so let's go around the base of the board. So the ribbon is 15mm. Cake boards tend to be 12, which is highly unhelpful. But I normally stick mine on with Pritt stick. You can do it with double-sided sellotape. I quite like Pritt stick, it's easy. It's even easier when you can actually find it. I've been known to use that PVA glue on here quite a bit. There we go. Now I've got to pick a back and a front, haven't I? That's going to be a difficult moment. I don't actually think I've got one, which is a good sign. So we'll just start anywhere. And we'll just put this down. So this goes on the edge of the cake board, so you need that flat on there, and then we can just spin it round like so. And then we'll just overlap it at the back. So you don't need to take it off your reel, just leave it on the reel. Oh, here we go. Live scissor cutting with my very unsharp scissors probably. Yeah. Actually, they weren't too bad, they behaved. Okay, right. Let's take this, stick a bit of glue on the back. And then I've got a bit of a topper, which I cut out earlier today. I've got one of those silhouette cameo machines. So I just thought, what am I going to put on top of this? So I have just cut out a little word to go on top. There we go. Right, now what I will do, where is it? I'm not going to be able to see it. So what I will do, I'll show you on camera. That's what I've done. So I've just cut that out. It says love. And it's a nice peachy sort of, I've got some paper that's like got a little bit sort of dip dyed colour, which is quite nice, because then it sort of picks up the light side of the coral and then down into the dark there. So that's what I've done there, just to cut that out. Now, where did I put the back on this? In the end, I put it there. So I'm just going to pop this in the middle. Oh, have I got that right? Hold on, I need to sit down to do this. Let's put that in. It's got to go in at a funny angle to make it work. There we go. Okay, you can't see it, so I will pick it up so you can see it in a second. You won't miss out, don't worry. Right, okay, I'm going to just pop you back on that camera for a second, just so I can bring this one up without you making everybody feel seasick. Because sometimes when I'm moving these cameras around, there you go, now you can see it better. Whoops, let's press the camera button. There we go. How about that? That's better, isn't it? You can see it now. There we go. So that is, yeah, the green ribbon would look nice on there as well. Definitely. So there you go. I've just put love on the top of it there. I couldn't think what to put on there, but I was more concerned about the sort of dip dyed paper than anything else. There you go. Let's spin it around and have a little look at what's going on with this. So there we go. That's all the cake done. In what time did I start? How long have I been live? Just under 2 hours. So you get cake toppers from eBay and all sorts of places like that. There we go. I'll pick it up in a minute so you can see it, but I will put it on Instagram. So we've gone for a kind of vintagey type look tonight. So we've gone for a really creamy colour base, and then we've used shades of peach. So we've painted and we've cut flowers out. So we've gone to really quite a dark shade here, which is picking up on here. So what we want to do is make sure it's picked up in lots of places so that it actually looks like something that you can kind of see as it moves around. So in other words, you've got cream, you've got white, you've got green, you've got shades of peach, and then the whole thing there comes together and it just looks really pretty. I just think it's a really pretty little cake. You can always increase the number of flowers that you want. You can put a big flower on the top. Somebody mentioned earlier that there was a big flower that you could put on top. Maybe that's always quite a nice idea, but I quite like to topper, and I didn't know really what word to print, so I went for love, 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 love. Just like Jean says there, love, love, love. I just thought, actually, do you know what? It's quite a nice word, isn't it? So we'll put that on there as well. And you can adapt that anyway. I strongly suspect it will be donated and given away to one of the NHS places, because that's where all my cakes have gone from all my lives. They've all gone off to various places like that. So I suspect that's where this one will be going as well. But again, it's a nice straightforward cake. Just use Pro Gel Rainbow Peach colour, blossom cutters, patchwork cutters, entwined, what did I call it? Entwined rose, anything like that, and then just put it all together like that, and you get a nice straightforward cake like that. Pretty, pretty, not too difficult. And there you go, you all love it. So there you go. So I haven't done a bad job. If you like it, I've done an okay job, haven't I? Let me pick it up and I'll show you what it is. I always dread this bit in case I drop it, but I won't. Unless my dad's watching. There you go. And then from a distance, you see, then you get, can you see all the green being picked up now? See, that is then another, I like it now. You see, I can see it from here. And you're getting a very, very nice view of how that green is coming down the side of that cake and giving you a really nice garland appearance. So as you're getting closer, you're seeing all the detail, and then as I pull back, you're getting an even a different effect as well. And I love things like that. So yeah, all good. Ooh, well done me. Well done, Tracy, you're hired. You can come back again next week. That's fine, I'll do that. Okay, so I will be back on Thursday morning at 11:30. So if you are working, then you can always watch it on catch up afterwards, or you can join me live and you'll see all the bits and pieces on there. Let me put some information up for you. So there's my Instagram. So it's at Tracey Mann Cakes. That's where you'll find pictures that I put up of various different bits and pieces. This is my website, traceyscakes.co.uk, which has a link to my training school as well. So if you want to look at classes, you can always go that route and then go through into classes, and it will take you to the other websites. I've got 2 websites, and you'll find everything on there that is connected with things like that. So if you are thinking, you know, you want to have a look at classes, then that's where you need to go for that. Never get bored of my lives. Oh, good. Oh dear, every week I think, what am I going to do this week? And yeah, I manage to think of something every week, so that's all right, isn't it? As long as we're keeping ourselves entertained, that's all we need to do. And it's doable. Somebody just said, and it's doable. And that's the most important thing as well, is that we can all attempt it, can't we? We can all look at it and go, I can see how that's done. Let's do it. Let's have a go at doing that. So if you ever do any cakes, don't forget to tag me on Sugar and Crumbs, and then I can see what you've done. And you can go wild with this colour scheme, can't you? You can do all sorts of different things. Maybe some yellows and oranges would look nice together, or purples and things like that, something along those lines. Thank you, Nikki. Nikki is my unofficial PA. She's been appointed by me, but she's really helpful in putting up links and pointing you all in the right direction, because Kelly's normally here. Kelly's my daughter, if none of you have seen Kelly yet, and she's not here this evening because she's working. So it's me all on my own. So thank you very much, Nikki. It's very much appreciated. Thank you. Very good. Okay, right. So I'm going to leave you all to it now. Have a lovely rest of the evening. I will be back at 11:30 on Thursday morning. And if you can't make it then, I will see you all again at 6:30 on Tuesday on Sugar and Crumbs. Have a lovely evening and take care. See you all soon. Bye for now.